Well, it's that time of, not even year, time of decade again.
Because it's about maybe a year and a half.
Yeah, about every couple of years, we get it into our heads to do another Timpano.
Because the first one wasn't enough. It wasn't enough also the second one. So today we are going to do the third one.
For those of you who don't know, a Timpano, or sometimes a Timballo they're called, is one of the most kind of over-the-top, intense pasta dishes you can make. It's a baked pasta dish like pasta al forno or lasagna, but it takes things up to the next level by being like, well, this. Yeah, it's not the kind of thing you make every day.
Absolutely. Not if you have just 20 minutes to prepare your dinner or your lunch.
But every now and then, it's time to make a showstopper. The kind of pasta dish that is a project, but if you pull it off...
It's a very good project.
It's a very good project.
You will be more than satisfied. So the Timpano, or Timballo, as a dish, has its own roots during the medieval age. It was that kind of dish that was putting on this big table of the nobility, and everyone was wow. The idea of the Timpano is like the extravaganza.
Extravagance, yeah.
Absolutely.
Sadly, although not really surprisingly, you don't see a lot of people making timbali these days. In fact, most people I think have never had one or never heard of them even. But we're here today to make one for no better reason than she can.
For no better reason that we want one. It's more than 1 year that we don't eat a timbal, so why not?
And you've got a new one to show me this week, huh?
And this is very, very interesting.
Whoa, that's a lot of tomatoes.
Actually, I don't know if they will be enough, Harper.
Is this to make like a sauce?
No, Harper. What we need to do is cut our tomatoes in half. I suggest you just to remove the inside a little bit and place our tomatoes on the baking tray. It's very important that when you decide to make this dish, you use a very ripe and good tomatoes, which usually it should be the rule. After we cut all the tomatoes, it's time to season the tomatoes. And this seasoning is made with breadcrumb, pecorino or parmigiano cheese, basil, garlic, olive oil, salt and black pepper. Now that the seasoning is ready, it's very important to salt the tomatoes because they don't have any salt. They taste amazing, but they miss some salt. And now we need to place our seasoning on the tomatoes. A little bit of olive oil. And the tomatoes will go into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 40-45 minutes until they are completely appassiti, completely soft.
Soft?
Completely soft.
Now this surely is the sauce.
This is going to be the sauce of our pasta. And we need a very simple sauce, which means we are going to use a little bit of olive oil, a clove of garlic, tomato puree. If you don't have tomato puree, you can use whole peeled tomatoes. Important is that they taste good, and a little bit of basil. Let the sauce simmer for about 30-35 minutes until it's cooked.
While we wait for these tomatoes and these tomatoes to cook, a quick word about today's video sponsor. Everyone knows that the best way to learn a new language is to be surrounded by it, immersed in it. Although I've studied Italian in a traditional sense, I can tell you that about 90% of the useful language skills I have come from living here in Italy, being surrounded by my wife and her family who are constantly speaking Italian. But let's be honest, very few people are in the same boat that I'm in. That's where LingoPie comes in. Language learning experts will tell you that one of the best ways to immerse yourself is by watching media in the language you're trying to learn. Yes, that means watching TV. With LingoPie, you can practice 14 different languages by watching their library of over 3,000 movies and TV shows. LingoPie has curated a collection of content that is made in the language you're trying to learn. Real native speakers. It's like the Netflix of learning languages. Not only that, but these are programs that are actually enjoyable to watch. We've all seen those language learning videos where you're just watching people order coffee for an hour. No, this isn't like that. LingoPie has partnered with some of the top media companies in the world so that you can actually learn a new language by watching movies and TV shows that you like in the comfort of your own home. With LingoPie's incredible built-in tools, you can really dive into what you're learning, use interactive subtitles to follow along. You can slow down or speed up the movie you're watching. I find that very helpful. Italians tend to speak really fast. You can take quizzes, make flashcards out of new terms that you've learned. All this so that you can practice a new language in the most immersive and entertaining way possible. Learning a new language doesn't need to be a bore. Try LingoPie today by clicking the link down in the description below. We all like to be couch potatoes sometimes. Why not learn a new language while you're doing it? A big thank you to LingoPie for sponsoring today's video. Well, those look and smell amazing.
Those could be eaten like that. Already like that, they taste amazing. But today we are going to use them in another way. The only thing that we need to do now is let them completely cool down. Our sauce is ready, and now is the time to cook the pasta. And I have 2 words to say about my chosen pasta. If you don't know, I'm a big fan of what in Italy we call penne lisce, or penne candela. It's penne lisce.
If you don't know, it's penne, but it's smooth. It's not regate. It doesn't have the ridges of normal penne.
Yes, normal, because the original penne were this. Now, also in Italy, there are a bunch of people who doesn't like penne lisce. And in my opinion, a person who doesn't like penne lisce, they don't understand nothing about food. Because penne lisce is one thing that is unbelievable good. Look how beautiful they are. And it's perfect for the dish that we are going to make. We don't need, how do you say, ridges?
Ridges? We don't need no ridges.
You can use also the ziti, because in America they are easily available. But you need to have a pasta that is smooth. We are going to cook this pasta for just 3 minutes, no more. Now we start to add the tomato sauce into the pasta. We add some extra basil, pecorino or Parmigiano cheese or both, and some very good fresh mozzarella.
Oh, I know what time it is now.
You remember something?
I do remember something.
The first thing that we need to do is to oil our pot. Also on the side, we need to pour inside some parchment paper. If I'm going to use like that, it will be a little bit difficult. So what I'm going to do is actually wet this parchment paper. We need to oil also the parchment paper, so outside and also inside.
So I seem to remember a sort of dough or crust being involved with timpano.
And also here there will be a sort of crust involved. This is our crust.
Tomatoes?
Yes, tomatoes. What you need to do is take those cold tomatoes and start to place the tomatoes here. We need also to cover the side, and we are going to start with the first ring of tomatoes, and then we will put the pasta, so the pasta will help the tomatoes to stick on the side. This is the tricky part. We are going to add a little bit of extra tomato sauce.
I think this pasta will be really good for people who hate tomatoes. They'll love it.
Then we are going to add some more mozzarella, some more parmigiano, pecorino. And we keep building our crust. Close with the last layer of pasta. Here actually we need to put our hands on because we need to press very well.
Wow, okay.
And we cook it at 250 degrees Celsius for about 40 minutes. Then after 40 minutes we uncover it and we put back in the oven for at least other 10 minutes or until all the top is crunchy and crusty.
And then we pray.
And then we pray.
Well, now the easy part's over.
And now we need to wait at least 20 minutes.
Before the moment of truth?
Before the moment of truth.
20 minutes later.
This is the moment of truth, which is my moment to shine. Once every 4 years, Ava needs me to do something. Oh man, if I mess this up.
Until here.
My work here is done. Actually, I lied before. This is really the moment of truth.
I'm worried.
Wow.
You don't believe in me?
Neither did you 10 seconds ago.
Actually, no.
I'm amazed that held together. Do we risk trying to cut a slice?
We can't bite into it like that.
No?
So we need to
If I
cut it.
unhinge my jaw. You did it.
It didn't collapse though.
It didn't collapse. Well, it looks fantastic.
And now we need to understand if it tastes good or not.
It's been a long time since we've had a Timballo in front of us. I forgot how just
Exciting.
anxiety-inducing it is to make one of these at the end. But it's always, once you get to this point, it's always really amazing.
You can feel the satisfaction of doing something like that.
Yeah, this thing is crazy. I did not expect to see a Timballo where the crust is literally tomatoes.
But you should know that when a dish comes from Naples, and this came from Naples, you should expect everything.
So does this Timballo have a name
Yes,
other than Tomato Timballo, which is what it seems like it should be to me?
No. The name
Timballo
is...
di Pomodori?
No, the name is Timballo or Timpano del Cardinale. And it's called like that because it's red, like the head, not the head, like the head of a cardinal.
All right. Well, this is definitely for tomato lovers like me.
Or like me, Harper.
Is tomato pasta covered in tomatoes?
And also, I'm so excited that finally I can eat again penne lisce.
Buon appetito. Oh, yeah. It's been a long time since I've had a Timballo, so maybe I'm just not remembering well. But from what I remember, I think I liked this one even more than the other Timballo.
Let's say that this has a little bit a fresher taste because while the other Timpano had all the meat, all that cheese, this is actually just tomato sauce, mozzarella, a bit of Parmigiano, and a ton of tomatoes. It has also very light taste.
But actually what I really like about it is the baked tomatoes on the outside and the breadcrumbs.
Because the breadcrumbs
it soaks all the sauce and everything. It's not just, I thought that was just sort of a form thing. No,
it gives a specific taste. It has a specific flavor.
Yeah.
And as always I said, breadcrumbs makes everything better. Also, it doesn't take days of preparation to make.
Yeah, I remember the other one being much more difficult to make, partly because of making that crust on the outside.
The crust, and then don't forget
difficult.
Meatballs.
This actually is not that complicated to make.
Absolutely. The only thing is that you should have good tomatoes on your hands, because otherwise it doesn't taste. And those tomatoes are more than good.
I know. It's maybe the best part. Here's the important question. Is it worth making, or should you just make a normal pasta al forno?
Absolutely not. To make this, take the time, go and find good tomatoes and make it. Because the result is completely different. It doesn't taste like pasta al forno.
No, it doesn't.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. I am impressed by its form, its appearance, by its simple extravagance, but most of all by its taste, as you can see.
But you're not impressed by me who made it.
I am. I'm very impressed by you who made it. And I'm impressed by that. Who's that guy who flipped it? He was really good.
I don't remember his name.
Me neither. He was very talented. Speaking of extravagance through simplicity, as you guys saw, Eva uses a very simple tomato sauce, but it's the tomato sauce that I swear by, everyone who tries it swears by it, as does this pasta grammarian who made it.
He did a very good job, and he kept it very simple as it should be, like just garlic, olive oil, and basil. So, good job.
I'll be honest, I don't know if we'll post a recipe for this online. It's the kind of thing that...
You don't really need a recipe. You need just to eyeball the
Yeah, that's the problem is... There's no specific
photo.
amount of anything. You have to kind of figure out like what kind of pot do you have that you can cook it in, and how many tomatoes do you need in the pasta?
How much pasta you can fit there, and then according making the sauce, because the ingredients, they are very simple.
Yeah.
It's like pasta, chopped mozzarella, tomato sauce, and tomatoes for the crust. I can give just one last suggestion. When you make, don't put too much tomato sauce because it needs to be enough to cook the pasta, keeping in mind that the tomatoes, they still have water, but don't put too much, otherwise
If it's too wet, yeah.
Absolutely.
If you do want to go try and replicate this at home, which we encourage you to do, please send us a picture. Tag us in a post on Instagram or Facebook at Pasta Grammar. We'd love to see it. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Ciao.
If this was invented in Calabria,
Think I know where you're going with this?
inside you can start to find some spicy salami, some hard-boiled eggs. Not that in Campania they don't use those.
I was gonna say, like, it's not everyone who can look at Neapolitan food and be like, oh, it's so restrained.